and welcome to this new episode of Today's Youth. And today we're delighted to be joined by Farah Zein. She's a student at the Cairo University Faculty of Arts. She's specialized in Spanish, and she will tell us why did she choose Spanish as her major field of study. Farah, tell me, thank you for joining us first, and tell me why did you choose Spanish as your major field of study?
Well, at school I studied English and French, and then I thought I should get another language, so I chose Spanish. And well, the process of choosing the language to study next was not so easy, because you have the Japanese and Chinese. I couldn't choose this because my handwriting is so shaky, it wouldn't work. And then
And it's a totally different alphabet. Chinese
yes.
is a totally different alphabet. I think it was going to be much more difficult
yes,
than Spanish.
It's not derived from Latin language, so it
Yes.
wouldn't be similar in any way. So I chose Spanish because also there is lots of countries who speak Spanish. You have 21.
Latin America,
yeah,
all Latin American countries.
you have
they
21
speak
countries.
Spanish, definitely, yeah.
Yes, one in Africa, one in Europe, and and most of them is in America, south and north.
Yeah.
So you have lots of opportunities, and you have lots of people to communicate with. And I love this. I love having to speak different languages and be able to communicate with more people. So this was my choice.
Yeah. What are you planning through Spanish? I mean, what's the career you're planning for through learning Spanish?
Well, when I chose Spanish, in my mind, I thought I studied English and French. I have to maintain both of them with having a new language. But unfortunately, this didn't work, because when you put your time and mind in one language, you have to forget another. So I couldn't maintain the French language actually, so I forgot most of it. And
at least you maintain the English language.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
And the career, well, actually I'm planning to be a UN translator. That's my ultimate goal. I hope to be an UN translator one day.
Yeah. So you're focusing on interpretation, simultaneous
Yes.
interpretation and translation.
Yes, well, the program in the faculty is specialized in translation. It's a new program.
Written translation or simultaneous interpretation?
Both.
Both.
In the third and fourth year, you start studying the other forms of translation. We even studied sign language, and we studied Braille, so that you can include people in the community, and it was so fun to learn these languages.
Yeah. Did you start already studying simultaneous interpretation?
Yes, in the third year.
Yeah. How do you see that? How do you see simultaneous interpretation?
It's so hard.
It's difficult. It's not an easy job.
Yeah, actually it's so hard. You have to be focusing
100%.
Yes, you have to be listening and speaking at the same time. It's so hard. It needs lots of practicing.
What are the main tools, in your opinion, to be a simultaneous interpreter, a successful simultaneous interpreter?
You have to be a good listener. You have to be you have to think quick and act quick. You shouldn't freeze. You have to if you got something that you didn't listen, you should go on. Everything should go on. So.
Yeah. Right. Farah, you're also engaged in several university activities, also with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Yes. And the Ministry of Environment. Tell me more about those activities.
Well, it all started when I was young. I've always liked to care for the environment. I didn't like using lots of plastic. I care about the planet. So When I heard that COP27 is coming to Egypt in uni, of course, because we translate lots of texts about COP27.
Yeah.
So I was determined to attend. I tried lots of organizations, and finally I found one that could allow me to attend the conference, but unfortunately it didn't go as planned, because it's a funny story actually. When we went to Sharm el-Sheikh, and it was a new experience for me to travel alone for the first time, the sponsor fled away and we didn't have a place to stay. Everywhere was already taken. The hotels were full.
Reservations were being done a year ahead, so hotels were fully booked. I know during COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, it was so difficult to find a place if you don't have a reservation.
Yeah, sure. So we found a very bad apartment. Actually, it was in a very bad shape. It was a funny experience. I was with three of my colleagues. We had like a very bad, a very bad apartment. Actually, it had insects and it.
Right. Anyway, but the overall experience must have been good, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that because it taught me a lot, because you have, in this situation, you have to like think fast. We found a new apartment. It was much better, and you have to adapt quickly. We moved quickly.
Think fast.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why.
Great. Well, Farah, we're gonna come back to this point after the short break.
Yeah, sure.
Welcome back, and once again with my guest Farah Zein. We were talking about her experience attending COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh. How did she benefit from this experience? How did she see the organization that took place in Sharm el-Sheikh? And how did she benefit from the overall experience attending such a great and important event here in Egypt? Tell me more, Farah.
Well, I've always enjoyed my vacations in Sharm el-Sheikh with my family, but at that year, Sharm el-Sheikh was completely different. It was like if you went to a foreign country, the organization was great. You had like electronic bikes everywhere, and it was so
everything
amazing.
Was environmental friendly. Even the buses, everything was very, very well organized, I think.
Yes, right? And you had like parades going everywhere when you're in Nama Bay and you're just going to lunch or something, and you find a parade of different traditional dances moving around. And in COP itself, the place, the green zone was amazing. You had lots of recycled items that looked great, and we met actually most amazing people there. I met the Minister of Environment, and it was a pleasure to meet her actually. And we met many people from Spanish-speaking countries, such as ambassadors, and we had the opportunity to communicate with them. We offered the translators, the UN translators, to help, and it was such a great experience.
Right. Farah, tell me more about your interest in environment. What other activities are you doing in this field? I mean, I think you have several activities regards the environment and climate change.
Yeah, actually, when we got back from COP, I joined an organization that was seeking youth who is interested about the environment. They call us ambassadors of the awareness. So we started having like a training of trainers at first, which is called TOT, I guess. And then we had online sessions, mostly of our family and friends, just raising awareness about electronic waste. And then it got expanded. We have lots of people all around Egypt in many cities. And now we moved actually to offline sessions. We go to youth clubs, we go to youth centers, and we teach them about the environment and about the treasure of electronic waste. And all of that is sponsored by the Ministry of Youth. We have their full support, and that's just amazing.
Right. Well, there were several recommendations, of course, for the COP27. We have some of your photos here. Farah, would you like to comment first on the
Yeah,
photos?
this one is in the green zone.
At COP27.
Yes.
Right. Next, please.
Well, this one is from just Luxor and the Swan. It was a trip I had with my mother, just like supporting the tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And this too is this one is also in COP27. This one is in a youth center where it was my first session offline. I had to meet people and talk to them about the electronic waste.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is with the Minister of Environment, and those are my friends who attended with me. I love them, I just love them. Mm-hmm. This one at MENA,
Mm-hmm.
I had a traineeship.
You studied the voiceover? You had a training in voiceover?
Yes, in voiceover in Maspiro, and this one was in MENA about CAT tools and UN translation.
Mm.
Yes, this is the same one with the minister.
This is the Minister of Environment?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So you had a good time in Sharm el-Sheikh for COP27?
Yeah, it was a great experience. The experience itself of being independent and trying to solve everything and
it's a new
meeting new
experience
people.
for you.
Yes.
It's the first time for you to travel on your
alone.
own.
Yes.
Great. So talking about a new experience of being on your own, how do you see the significance of youth empowerment? And we've seen a lot being done here in Egypt for youth empowerment during the past 10 years. The Egyptian leadership is giving great attention to the youth. We've seen the presidential leadership program and a lot of youth conferences that took place here in Egypt, like the International Youth Forum. So how do you see the significance of youth empowerment in empowering youth?
Well, actually, I have lots of friends who attended most of these conferences. It's so amazing that you have like youth. Egypt is most of Egypt is youth, so you have to take care of them. They will build the future. So, and attending COP27 and more conferences made me think that yes, it's a youthful country. And even the Mediterranean conference was held here last year. You had all the countries of the Mediterranean attending, and it's a big country. Egypt is a big country, and we can be able to invite other countries with pleasure here.
Mm-hmm. Right. So how do you assess the activities being done by the government to empower the youth so far in Egypt?
Well, you have Minister Ashraf Sobhi, the Minister of Youth and Sports. He's actually so young in mind. He has a youthful look. I'm not just physical, like in mind, youthful perspective. He cares about the youth. Well, in my experience, the one at electronic waste awareness, we had his support very fast. You have the student activity that I'm a part of. It's called Tahya Masr, and we always have his support. We have like a simulation for the parliament and everything. So it's so amazing.
Mhm. And how do you see the significance of the youth conferences and the International Youth Forum, where youth are gathered from different countries around the world here in Egypt in one place? How do you see the significance of this to the youth in creating a bond among youth from different countries, European, African, especially the African youth came to Egypt several times. How do you see the significance and impact of this on the youth?
Well, as I said, Egypt is a big country and we've always been the center of attention. So it's so normal that we organize these conferences and gatherings because, as I said, we can do it. We can do it. So why not? So yes, that's it.
Yeah. Farah, you're also doing some internship. You're on an internship program with real estate, or you're working with real estate during your summer vacation. Tell me more
Yes.
about this experience.
Well, I needed to practice my English and Spanish in the summer, so and also get an experience from getting a job. So I got a job in call center. It's just like every other youth, and it's working from home. I work for real estate as a real estate agent, and
So you work from home as a real estate agent, right?
yes, yes, and actually it's so useful because you get to speak English and Spanish all day. And it offers good money, actually, because the call center community in Egypt is growing, and you have them like offering good amount of money for anyone who can speak languages.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. We're going to go to a short break, and we'll be right back to continue with Farah. Welcome back, and once again with Farah. You're so interested in electronic waste,
Yeah.
right? Tell me more about electronic waste so that our viewers would know more about it.
Well, it's so important that people get to know what is electronic waste. It's simply everything that you have to plug in or have a battery in. So this is just a hidden treasure or a hidden gem. So we have to I'm sorry.
Work more on it. I mean,
Yeah.
you need to say we need to work more on it, create awareness
Yeah,
on
we
this
have
issue,
to care.
so that people are more aware on the significance of this for the environment.
Yes, and we have a partnership with a program, an application that goes to houses and take the electronic waste so we can recycle it. And the dangers of electronic waste is so high. You have like, it's so bad for the environment and the health of a human. So when dealt with unprofessionally, of course. So you have a hidden treasure of elements. You have gold, aluminum. You have silver and lots of very expensive materials that you can reuse instead of just throwing away and having like having it affect dangerously on the environment.
Sure.
That's why we found the government so so willing to support us, because it's a very important matter actually.
Right. Well, it's definitely on this very positive note, creating more awareness on climate change, on how to get rid of waste in a positive way. All these are very, very important during the current era. Thank you very much for joining us, Farah Zein, and all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, that brings us to the end of this edition of Today's Youth. Don't forget to join us next week, same time. Till then, goodbye.